Deborah Fraser's passing has been described as a massive loss to South Africa's music industry. The gospel legend passed on yesterday at the age of 56 after a short illness. She kicked off her career back in 1985 as a backup singer, actually. For more on her contribution to the art, let's bring in music producer Sello Chicco Twala, who's actually worked with Fraser for many, many years. Chicco Twala joins us via our telephone line this morning. And thank you so much for making time to speak to us. It's lovely to have you on the program. And my condolences to you and many in the industry who are going through an understandably difficult time. Have you been able to process this news yet, or are you also still trying to place the significance of the loss that we all suffered?
Good morning and good morning to the viewers. Let me start by sending my condolences to the family for the untimely death of our superstar, Deborah Fraser. Her death was the greatest gift that the Almighty has given the family and the industry as a whole. It's really a sad loss. We've lost an icon. We've lost one of the best musicians who has really made us proud. Deborah has contributed immensely to our industry. Gospel wouldn't be what it is today if it wasn't for her.
Yeah. And take us through perhaps the kind of artist that she was as you were working with her. You know, some producers will tell you that when you work with certain people, from the moment they get behind the mic, you know that, you know, what they have to offer is something unique. Is that the kind of experience you had with her?
Bren, you know, there are two musicians that I've worked with that I never actually, I would always go out in the studio very happy. Brenda Farsi and Deborah Fraser. They've never disappointed. With Deborah Fraser, the first time I met with her, you know, she was a backing singer in most of the albums that I was doing with Brenda Farsi and other musicians. I discovered in the 80s, you know, that her voice shouldn't just be left out, you know, to be just backing vocal. She needs to actually start recording her own album. And I spoke to Eric Furman, you know, Universal Music CEO at the time, Universal Music CEO, to ask if we could actually record an album. She did well, we all know. I mean, she sold over 2 million copies. She's never disappointed ever since. I think a loss really, it's really sad for our country.
Yeah, without a doubt. And we all can resonate with one or the other of her many hits over the years. What do you reckon it was about her brand of gospel music that resonated with people so well? Because, you know, we are spoiled for choice in this country when it comes to different artists, but only a few do stand out.
I missed that question, sorry?
I was just asking what you reckon it was about her type of gospel music that resonated so well with South Africans.
Well, I think the most important, she was very unique. I mean, you recall that Deborah, what made Deborah unique was that, you know, when she sings, whether it's a cappella, if there's music, or she actually, she was very versatile and very unique. She was never actually, she never got intimidated by any, if a producer actually plays chords that maybe will be more American or African, she actually matched very well. She never had problems in actually getting the message.
Yeah, typically, you know, some gospel artists will tell you that their own lives is the source of inspiration for the kind of music they do. I mean, you know, another legendary star, Rebecca Malope, has been quite open about her own traumatic history, feeding into the kind of message she wants to give through her music. Do you know what Deborah Fraser tapped into when she was putting together her music?
Deborah wrote most of her songs, and what I can tell, my experience with her, but when she comes to the studio, when you've given her a melody, she would make changes that you'll be proud of. She will never make changes that will disappoint. She used to be like that. I mean, she's never actually an artist who will just listen to the producer. Her contribution in the studio was amazing. That's my experience with her.
Yeah. Typically, they say that, you know, absolute power corrupts absolutely. In other words, people who become influential in society sometimes have some kind of fall from grace because it all gets to their head, you know. And gospel stars are certainly not exempt from that. When Deborah was still alive and from the time you worked with her, do you reckon she knew that she was a star? She was aware of her influence?
I think she had. I mean, if you listen to her voice, I think she did actually know that one day she'll make it big. It's just that, as an artist, you find that there are a lot of talented artists, but with Deborah, I think she knew that her time will come. Working with me, she knew that, I'll give her the opportunity to record her first solo album. Hence, 2-3 albums that I did with her where she never featured as solo artist. I made it a point that, she gets a contract with Universal Music. And that's when she got a break. And, I think that was the biggest moment for her. I did some collaboration. I remember one day how versatile Deborah was. I was actually doing an ANC event. We didn't have a song. And then we went into the room with our computer. We recorded a song there. It was amazing. When we went on stage, imagine we recorded a song on that day, and we went on stage singing that song. The crowd went crazy. And that's how Deborah was. Very, very talented.
Yeah. Typically, gospel stars in a country like ours are a symbol of relief, a symbol of hope. A lot of people look to their music to make it through the many challenges that we face in this country. How would you describe how Deborah interacted with the people she worked with and with her fans?
Oh, she was a very, very kind person. Deborah never took fame into her head. She always actually will be there for her backing singers, everyone, that she worked with. She's never actually taken fame like, to be treated like a superstar or anyone. She just, even ordinary people, you see, that when she meets ordinary people in the street, she'll make time to talk to them like an ordinary person. She never actually took fame into her head.
Yeah. Depending who you ask, gospel music in our country has certainly moved in some kind of direction. Whether the right direction or the wrong direction is open for debate. But do you reckon, the kind of artists like Deborah are around with us today, given how she interacted and worked with you?
Sorry, man. My phone gives me a bit of a problem sometimes. Your question?
All right. Essentially, I was trying to get to the bottom of whether you reckon Deborah's legacy is able to live on, given the artists we have in the gospel music industry today.
No, definitely. Her legacy will live on. Her music, even Deborah's music, the kind of music that will never actually die. Her legacy will live on forever, and I think her music will definitely be with us for the rest of our lives. There is no way that we can actually forget her contribution. She has contributed immensely, and definitely she must be recognized for the good work that she's done for the industry.
Chicco Twala, thank you for your tributes and your generosity this morning. Once again, our condolences to you and your colleagues in the industry. Chicco Twala is a music producer who's worked with Deborah Fraser for many years. And of course, our conversation comes on the back of Deborah Fraser's passing at the age of 56, I beg your pardon.